All right, I think we're live now. So today is Thursday again. It's 8th February, and we're joining again on our weekly BIM Q&A, which is BIMly. And I'm excited to have a guest with me. I have Swati with me, who's joining on this call today. As we answer some of your question, she'll be there to answer the question and provide her insights and her journey as well. So I'm very thankful for Swati to jump and join. As people jump on, we'll continue this call and ask questions with people on what their, if any question on BIM or whatsoever. But before than that, Swati, I would love to hear your story, your journey, where you started and where you are, and specifically in talking about how you got into BIM. You know, what was that key factor to got you in BIM, and tell us more about yourself.
Hey, Anirudh. Thank you so much for inviting. I'm glad to join this.
You're welcome.
I'm so happy to be part of this BIMly. That's your weekly BIM Q&A. So just to give a brief about me, this is Swati. I started as an architect. I studied in India. I'm from Andhra University. I did my architecture, and then I came to States to do my master's. I finished my construction management in Central Connecticut State University, which is a good school for construction management. And I have some experience, like maybe some 8 years of experience here in States, and I did work as an architect back in India as well. So I have 10 years of experience in designing and also managing various projects. And I have smoothly transitioned into construction management from my architectural background. So it was always helpful, being an architect, because you could actually visualize things, and you can really understand what the clients are looking for and what exactly is your architect trying to convey from his design. So you could really visualize, and you can bring that into the BIM world. And that way, I really feel it was very smooth transition for me to move from architecture to construction management, and I've been successfully overseeing, projects, and it's great so far.
Oh, nice, perfect.
And I also previously have experience with Skanska. Skanska is a big GC, so we did work on various projects.
Perfect.
Skanska, and I recently moved to AIDS. AIDS is again a really nice growing company, and they are moving forward for a good, trying to implement a lot of, basically the virtual design construction in their projects. Trying to grow. So here I am.
That's awesome. No, that's very inspiring to hear your story. I think some of the instances that you mentioned kind of match with what I also pursued in my career. Like not happened to be an architect. I was more a civil engineer. I did my undergrad in civil engineering, and then went for masters in US, and then chose the career path to be in BIM, because I also had that edge of like visualizing thing, and BIM was the tool that was very easy, for me to connect, because now it has given my ideas a way to present it to many people, like I can draw it in BIM in 3D model and explain it to people. So that was something that came along, and I was very excited to happen to join in BIM. But on that side note, we have a couple more people jumping in. The call would go in the way that you guys raise your hand if you have questions or just comment or want to join a discussion. You can raise your hand, and I will allow you guys to be on the stage and ask your question. Swati and me both are here today to answer your questions, and we'll do our best to, with our knowledge, to give you guys answer. So while we wait for people to kind of ask questions, Swati, I have a guy asking me a question. Srinivas DM'd me this week, and he asked a question. So I think we should answer that question while more people are jumping on the call. So he's actually he's a graduate of civil engineering, and then his question was that he already did his bachelor's, but his question is, should I pursue a master degree or to deepen his BIM knowledge, or should he directly go into field and join a company and gain more experience through that way? So what would be your take on it? Should there be master's preference, or should job be his preference?
Oh, that's a really good question. And if I start all over again, I would definitely, after my undergrad, I would definitely encourage people just to go into the field, get the field experience, understand, how all these different teams are collaborating with each other.
Yeah.
Just get that knowledge. That is super important, and that's going to make your career even more smooth because you get to know how these teams are working, how they're collaborating with each other, and what are the hardships that's gonna come on your way. So you would be able to just get at least like 2 years of experience, and then pursue your masters, which would be more helpful for your career and in your career growth.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right on that, because my answer would be the similar on this is if you want to choose between job or masters after your graduation, I would prefer to get into job and get hands-on experience first. And if you feel like you're growing and progressing within your job, then I don't think you will need the master degree. You can continue growing on, because master degrees, all it's doing is specializing you into a certain specific area of the industry, right? While within the job, now you're exploring your potential in many different aspects within a company or whatever roles you're fitting into it. So I believe more into getting into hands-on experience. And like Swati mentioned, if you feel that during your job, if you feel like you need more specialization in any particular field, then you choose and go into masters. Otherwise, you really don't need to. You can directly go into job and progress yourself way up. So again, thank you for that question, answer that, Swati. Let me invite Kevin, I guess, on raising his hand for questions. Yes, Kevin, if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Kavan or Kevin. I think you have to unmute at the bottom. There is unmute button, and you can ask your question. Yes. Sure, we'll translate that. I mean, a lot of our audience is in English, but please go ahead in Hindi and I'll translate your questions.
Yes, thanks. My qualification diploma civil engineering only, but 6 years experience in architect field.
Okay.
And in field last 1.5 year experience at BIM office, Ahmedabad.
Okay. So what is your question, Kavan?
In future BIM में career आगे मतलब
BIM में career है कि नहीं? That's what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
आगे.
Okay, perfect.
Actually मेरी qualification इतनी है नहीं इसलिए.
अच्छा, okay. No worries.
I have experience construction site का और architect का भी.
Okay. But BIM का you are pursuing it now, right? अभी you are taking the experience now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we'll answer that in English if that's okay. You can understand it, right? We'll answer that in English. I'll translate your question quickly. So I think what Kavan is asking is that is there career in BIM for him, because he has more experience as an architect or in field, but now he's pursuing his forte in more in BIM. So he's asking that is there a better career option moving in this route or not? So. I think this is again a great question for a lot of people who comes in and they basically ask for this. So I would allow Swati, if you would want to share some light on it, if this questions that is there a career in BIM? I feel like there is, but what is your answer?
Oh, definitely there is a career in BIM, especially now. This is really a good time for BIM, I should say that, because there's a lot of light in that field. Everybody wants to include BIM because it makes everybody's life easy. They can visualize it, they can see it, they can understand it. But when it comes to Kevin, definitely you can pursue in BIM because you have an architectural background. And you also have a construction background, so definitely maybe just work for a few more years, then you get I think you would be a great fit for BIM. So don't overthink, just go for it.
Yeah, I think same answer, Kevin, is You have a lot of field experience, you have your architecture background, your construction background. So I feel like you should pursue it. Again, BIM takes a little bit more time because this is more software based area. So you have to be patient while learning software. For some people, these software comes very quickly and naturally, but some people it takes time. So you just have to be patient with it and just pursue this path forward. But your architecture and construction background will actually help you to progress faster. Because even on the last BIMly call, I mentioned that at the end of the day, we are engineer, we're architect. We just happen to use BIM to our advantage. So you're just using it as an advantage to do construction.
Can I add something? My question है सर.
जी जी बताइए.
मेरे को सर आप इतना बता सकते हो मतलब बीम में कौन कौन के सॉफ्टवेयर जो सीखना चाहिए प्रॉपर तरीके से. मेरे को अभी ऑटोकैड, रेविट और नेविसवर्क्स और सिंक्रो आता है.
Okay.
और सिविल 3D बेसिक आता है.
Okay. So what other software you're asking?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sure. I think that's again another good question that people ask a lot of time. And I'll just quickly answer on that, and Swati, you can share some light on it. But in terms of software, I feel like you need to specialize at least in one software, whether it happen to be Revit or whatever it is, that BIM authorizing software, you need to have a better knowledge and experience. Then you can diversify yourself into different areas within BIM, right? So when you learn about Synchro, then Synchro is for 4D scheduling, right? When you're talking about Navisworks, is more for clash and coordination, right? So you need to specialize in one first, and then you can diversify yourself. Again, there are plenty of softwares available there. So I don't want to like name all of them, and you should learn all of them, but you should specialize in one or two software and pick and choose on which direction you want to go. But another key point I would mention here, and as we're all seeing the revolution happening in our industry as well, is about AI. So I want to make it clear to you guys as well that AI will definitely come in AEC, and it's coming right now. We have a lot of tools coming in. So I would want you guys to also focus on learning some of these AI tools and see, at least try them out to see what advantage you can bring and use these tools to help automate certain things, So that would be my quick short answer. Swati, if you want to share some light on it. And Kavan, I would mute you because there's some background coming, so I'll mute you while...
Last one question, sir. So आपके experience है, तो मतलब थोड़ा BIM के related कोई guidance हो या कोई advice हो तो आप देना मेरे को.
Yes, definitely. We will share with that. For sure. Okay. Swati, if you want to comment on that, like what software somebody will be choosing.
I would definitely agree with what you just said before, because there are a lot of softwares around. There's no one software that you can say, oh, you just learn these things, you'll be good. So, and there are a lot of people who are still, they can just really do a really good sketch, and and there's so much sketching as well. So I can't just say like, oh, this is good, that's not good, but just be good at something and learn to convey your ideas. Okay, if you have an idea, how are you communicating with your team?
Yeah.
How are you solving the problem? So that's the biggest thing. It's not about the software. It's like, how are you solving a certain problem? How are you saving the time? How are you saving the money? That's the major things you have to focus on.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a great comment, Swati. Like, we happen to be more solution specialist, right, rather than software specialist. The software is just a mean for us to solve the problem that is happening, right? So the focus should be more on problem solving rather than learning many softwares, because just learning software won't help you until you understand how you're solving a problem with using those tools. So that's a great comment. I would ask in the audience, if you guys have question or even want to join the discussion, feel free to raise your hand, and I'll invite you guys on the stage while we continue on answering some of your questions. So meanwhile we wait, Swati, I would kind of ask you a question, right? Within your journey, I think you have more focused on the general contractor side. What some trend are you seeing right now that is happening currently within, like when we talk about BIM? What are some new trends that you are seeing in terms of from perspective of general contractor point, like what are some technology that are you using which is coming more latest, like if we want to spread some knowledge and awareness about that, are you seeing any new patterns or trends happening within BIM?
Definitely, definitely. I'm seeing some pattern because previously when we were working, so I actually have experience not only just with BIM but also in the pre-construction world as well.
Okay.
That was more helping the pre-construction technologies, and now there's a big trend of AI-based takeoffs. So let's say, initially there were people who were doing manual takeoffs, then we were using Revit and 3D models to, do the takeoffs. So we had different tools, but now there's AI which is taking over that case. So you don't even have to do anything. Put the drawings and boom, the takeoffs are done.
Wow.
So it's making the life of estimators, or like, let's say the field guys or project engineer or project managers who wants to quickly understand what's changed from my previous design. Let's say you are at the SD stage and then you're going to the next stage of CDs and what's changed in between. So that's not, you don't have to spend too much time on it. You can just quickly find the differences and you can just quickly analyze, quickly get the quantities and just put the number together and just go for it.
Wow.
So it is coming faster than
I think you're right. Like we are seeing AI happening more on the designing side, like more on architectural side. But you're right, like this is happening on all the other areas as well. It's not only on generative side, but more on the calculative side as well. Like you're mentioning about estimating, that AI is coming into that pattern. Recently, one trend I've seen that AI is coming in is it's combining the power of photogrammetry while using the drone data, and the AI is now identifying, it's doing image capturing and image recognition to identify how much work is done versus what is left out. So a perfect example would be, there's a project in Fort Lauderdale that we were doing, and Drone Deploy is a company who is testing this out, and they are basically doing a full like a scan of the deck and identifying where the sleeves are missing or how many sleeves are being already put in using AI tools, which is very fascinating. Like if this takes off, I mean, the potential is limitless, that how much you can use this type of AI tools, So it's a very interesting
right,
time.
that is very true. Yeah, we have been seeing that as well, and it's basically, wherever there is more repetition, I think that's where the AI is taking its place.
It's helping, yeah.
To stop it. Yeah.
And what one should do, like in terms of educating themselves to keep up with this AI tools coming out, like if you want to like share some of your learning paths, that where are you finding helpful information to be yourself active on AI?
As I was telling before, so I always believe in so you should definitely know how to use these AI tools, but focus on how you are solving the problems. Because if you know how to solve a problem, nobody's going to replace you for sure. So that's something I would definitely ask everybody to just learn how if you're in design, just learn how the design really works. Like how better we can design, how better we can solve a problem, or when it comes to construction as well. So it's always, being an engineer, you should know how to solve a problem.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And we guys got a couple of guys on the call. Like again, like I would request you guys to raise your hand if you have a question or comment. These calls, like the intention of these call is to have a healthy discussion about BIM and what's happening in the industry, and also to answer some of your questions. Right now we can do just like a quick answers, but if you guys want to get more detailed answer, you want to connect, you guys can send me DMs. I'll respond to your DMs. I try to be more active and response. And if it happens to be more in-depth conversation, I would love to have a one-on-one call as well. The agenda about this is with Beyond BIM is to create a community of us BIM guys where we share our knowledge with each other and we help each other to grow in our role. Like BIM is such a dynamic industry that evolves every day. So even if I say that I have 10 years of experience, and if somebody's coming in industry and he has 2 years, he might have more knowledge because he could have kept up with the trend. And I might be just sitting with my old knowledge and getting old now, right? So BIM is such dynamic path that you have to constantly learn and evolve. And that's why these calls are important, because these allows me also to learn and keep up myself with the trends and keep up myself with the whatever the happening in industry. Otherwise, BIM is such dynamic that it will continue moving on. So feel free to raise your hand and ask your questions, guys. This is very important, and I think Swati also joined, so I appreciate her like spending some time here and sharing knowledge. And this is something that we all should be doing more and more, helping each other out and giving more guidance, and whatever we have learned, we need to spread that knowledge out. So this is a great initiative that I feel that everybody should be taking part and joining into it. So meanwhile, Swati, real quick, another question just popping in my head for you as well. So how it has been your journey in US? Like this question get asked to me a lot of times. I want to throw that curveball on you. Is like being in US for almost 8-10 years for you now, right? So how your journey has been so far, and will you ever move back to India?
Wow, that's a
Hey, just out
that's
there.
a really so I don't know. I still never thought about if I'm moving back, but if I get a chance, definitely, for sure. The kind of knowledge that I gain here, maybe I would love to take back and um, give it back to my country and just work with my people for sure. But for now, so we are here and working here, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing right now. So, coming back to my question, my journey in US. So initially, it was not. It's not just a better process. It's not as simple initially. Definitely,
Yeah.
I really worked hard to get into
Yeah.
where I am today. But I definitely tell the young crowd, just focus on what you're doing, especially when you're in college. Start communicating with your lecturers, like your professors, and talk to them, get insights. Just think beyond the box and explore things
Yeah.
and go for it. Yeah, don't just get stuck and don't think somebody would come and just help you from nowhere. Nobody's going to come and help you from anywhere. It's just you who has to take initiatives and go
Yes.
and get what you want.
Yeah, definitely. And especially when it comes to abroad, like when you're away from your country and you're in a new culture, especially at that time, you have to be more proactive about you getting out of your comfort zone and you figuring out things. Like I was in the same journey 10 years ago when I moved to US to pursue my master's, and it was tough. At the beginning I was not getting what my professor was talking because there was a language barrier as well. I knew English, but I didn't knew their way of talking or their accent. So I had to learn that. I have to force myself to go beyond my potential and kind of adopt their way and then be successful at that. So I think you have to be proactive when you're especially in that country, and then learn a lot. Like what you're saying, Swati, is like you have to be open out there and you have to try new things. Especially in career as well. Like a lot of time we feel like we have chosen one path in career and we just stick with it, but it's not true. Within your career you can start trying out different ways, and then figure out if you like things or not. You can't be just stuck into one path and you think that, okay, that's the end of it. But I feel like you all need to start experimenting, especially in those earlier years of your career. If if you just started your career and you feel like you're not finding your job, that you're not loving your job, or you're not happy in your job, I think you can try out different fields. Within construction industry, there are so many different areas that you can explore, but don't get stuck into one or the other thing. And I feel BIM is another good area that you can work, where you have potential to work with multiple departments. You're not only stuck with one thing. I think that's why I like BIM more, is because it's such a dynamic, again, an industry that I happen to talk with multiple different people. I talk with estimators, I talk with the field crew, I talk with the operation side. So you get to talk with everybody in the team, and your job changes quickly and progress quickly as well. So that's another part that I enjoy about my field of the path. So thank you, Swati, again, for jumping on these calls. If there is no question, I would end this call here. Swati, if you have any comments to mention, please, I would love to have you talking a little bit more, and then just sharing a little bit more about your thing, that how do you enjoyed this call, or any other further comments that you have for people.
Oh, I'm good. So I would just, end this by saying, so innovation within a company is driven by many things. So sometimes a person in one company learns something, and your friend may be learning something else. So there are different things people can learn, but it is an organic process. So you have to keep experimenting, just keep learning and understand, okay, what is the purpose of something? It's not just, okay, you're learning because your boss is asking you to do something. Just don't do it for somebody else's sake. Do it for yourself, and it's going to really help you, because sometimes you don't really understand. You think, oh, we're just doing it. It definitely helps you as you go forward, and you would learn much more than you think.
Yeah.
So just keep your efforts and enjoy your job, or even when you're being a student, just enjoy everything. Just learn. Don't ignore anything. Just and also have fun. So that's all.
No, that's awesome. Thank you again, Swati, for being the guest on this show today. And again, thank you for everybody who jumped on the call and stayed so far. I would love to have your questions. If you don't want to come on the stage and speak with everybody or talk, feel free to DM me your questions, and I would love to answer them on the next call. So we want more questions coming, and we want to have a healthy discussion about different topics. And you guys are the one that would be making these calls more fun and enjoyable with the interaction. This is not somebody that I just come on stage and I'm just talking, but I want to have a healthy discussion between all of us, and build this community of what I've started with Beyond BIM, and I want to grow it larger. So you guys are the supporter of it, and I want everybody of you guys to start giving more inputs and comments, and that's how we can grow this community larger and larger. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. Thank you, Swati, again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Bye-bye.